All right. Wrapping up here today with a sweet Jeksai Friends brew. This is a straight blue-red deck with a small white splash for this jerk because, well, if you can cast him easily, you should probably be playing him. Teferi, Raveler are fun. That being said, this deck does have some sweet fun things going on in it. So we've got Saheeli, Chandra, Acolyte of Flame, and Improbable Alliance, and Sarkhan, all of whom make tokens. And then we've got two pigs up here at the top end of our curve that we can floop out when we Lukka a token, which is great. So, I guess Ugin also makes tokens. So the idea is that we're kind of a Sarkhan Planeswalker deck that can also Lukka End-Raze Forerunners into play to really punch people in the face. So let's go ahead and pop on into some matches here with this one and see how it goes. There are decks that we play on this stream where sometimes we're trying to optimize them and make them as competitive as possible. Other times we're just trying to do a thing. This deck is definitely one of the latter. So we have Godzilla because we can actually cast him and cycle him. Well, that's way less of a meme, Wargy. If you are looking to optimize and min-max this deck, Cycle Godzilla is probably the more competitive card. When you're looking to meme on some people, Pig's the only way to go. Well, you have two pigs, so that way if you draw one, you can still get the other pig out of your deck. You don't want your Lukka. I can't wait to draw pigs and die to Narset. If we had Grizzlebrand, we'd be playing that pig. Oink, oink. Grizzlebrand is quite the piggy, chat. Quite the piggy. Alex Jet, thanks for the 15 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Playing Obosh Aristocrats here, it looks like. Chandra notably very bad on a board state like this.
Hey, don't start any fires without me. Fire spreads fast.
Just gonna play her out and plus her. She'll get to gain us some life here.
Throw another punch, and you're gonna get burned.
We unfortunately do not have any sweepers in our deck right now. We look like we're a Winota deck. Yeah, kinda.
We can do this together.
So who ended up winning the Battle of the Cottage Cheese? Well, so I feel like our data is skewed because a whole bunch of people voted that cottage cheese wasn't a breakfast food, but those hateful monsters were mostly voting that way because apparently they don't think cottage cheese is a food in general. So then, by extension, if it never counts as food, it doesn't count as breakfast food. So I feel like my data has been skewed. I'm solidly on the cottage cheese as a breakfast food side of the argument. I agree. Cottage cheese. I ate cottage cheese with my waffles this morning, and Christy was like, those two things don't go together. And I was like, cottage cheese is totally a breakfast food. Ginger Weasel, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Cottage cheese is just bad. Listen. There are lots of different types of cottage cheese. If you think they're all bad, you haven't tried enough of them.
Your end has arrived.
Cottage cheese isn't food. Oh no! Oh, no. They took our boy, chat. They took our boy, and they stole him from us. You're a chef, and you can say that tons of people ordered for breakfast. God bless us, everyone.
Come on. Listen to them roar. I'm only human.
I like cottage cheese. It balances out the sweet in my syrup that I ate with my waffles really well. They complement each other. Do I eat eggs? I do eat eggs, Marty. I think we're dead. The lack of sweepers in this build might be wrong. Let's have a couple of flame sweeps. Aether Gust hits Obosh, but other than that, it's kind of medium. I'm gonna trim a pig. Over easy eggs on my waffle. That would require me to cook over easy eggs. My waffles come out of the toaster. They go, and then I take them out and I eat them. Hey, don't you criticize me, Marty. Christy and I have survived without takeout for going on 6 weeks, chat. We are 6 weeks takeout free. Looking forward to the post-pandemic world. Looking forward to the post-pandemic world. Hey, become a baker and my wife a world-class chef during quarantine. You love to hear it. Eight weeks and counting. Yep. Yeah, we haven't been quite that long. For those of you that are concerned about my dad bod, though, don't worry. I've been eating plenty of ice cream and Reese's peanut butter cups, sometimes at the same time, to make sure I don't accidentally lose weight during this whole quarantine thing. Wouldn't want something positive to come out of all of this. I don't know what's funnier, you not eating takeout or thinking that there's a post-pandemic world. Listen, Michael, we're gonna have a vaccine someday and then I can go back to eating junk food from takeout stores, okay? I need this, okay?
Right on schedule. I've got time.
As long as you avoid any kind of exercise. That's true. I've not been exercising nearly as much as I was pre-quarantine. The weather's getting better, though, and I'll be able to walk around outside a little bit more. I also just, like, never exercise very much around set releases just because I'm working so much, so that's not really quarantine-specific. Who needs to exercise when you have stretchy jeans? Katana living their best life, really. I agree, Scapt, but I'm not necessarily counting on that as a guarantee, but life going back to any form of real semblance to what it was before all of this kind of depends on that, right? So, like, if a vaccine ends up not being a possibility, at least not in the short term, things are going to be living different for a little while. At least until we develop widespread testing capability, right? We need a vaccine, or we need the ability to pinpoint whenever anybody's sick anywhere, basically, is my understanding. Somebody has a different understanding with a scientific background, feel free to chime in if I'm wrong. But that is my understanding of the situation.
Impossible.
Alright, so I'm gonna do this. Make another dragon. Attack you for 4. Pass. So Obosh here lets Judith's triggers all deal 2. Are we dead? Is that true? I don't know. I have Sarkhan static text here, right? They need to kill Sarkhan or both my dragons. So any of their things that they attack with, other than Mayhem Devil, die to the Sarkhan trigger. It doesn't matter where these attack, they're all dead. Well, I got really lucky that my auto-ordered triggered abilities went the right way and killed Judith first there, huh? That could have ended up much worse for me. Shoutouts to Magic Arena. Low variance, high skill game.
Trust me. You'll thank me later. That's more like it.
I feel like that was a die roll we didn't deserve to win. Listen, if people got what they deserved in life, Donald Trump wouldn't be president, so. I'd be living on some alternative timeline where Al Gore was president forever ago, and we actually addressed climate change while I was a small child. I can't tell if the comment asking them to fix the shuffler in chat is ironic or not, so I'm gonna hedge and time them out.
Here we go.
The shuffler's as rigged as the earth is flat. Wake up, sheeple, the truth is out there. I blame the shuffler on the 5G. Yes, the 5G is rigging your... Are you playing... What kind of internet connection do you have? I heard Comcast is stacking your deck against you. I think I'm just taking 5 here. I don't think I want to trade my dragon if it's not lethal. The 5G flat shuffler is causing COVID. Yeah, I think I'm in for Sarkhan here, right? I think we're just on the I don't beat claim the firstborn plan, and I'm gonna plus this and smack them for 4, or minus this and then smack them for 4, that we can kill them next turn.
I've got it.
Flame sweep plus my dragon triggers kill Woe Strider, which is great. In the 60s, they faked the moon landing to launch a 5G mast up there to transmit COVID across the globe and rig the shuffler to make you... It's... So, conspiracy theories like that are like, they're funny to joke about when they're about things like the Magic Arena shuffler, but like, when those conspiracy theories are about things like COVID, it's just so disgusting. Would you be willing to take a sponsorship for my new invention? It's a magnet to put next to your router that reorganizes the bytes when your deck's shuffled to make sure you don't flood. Oh. Are you dead? Is Sarkhan coming for you? Put your patent into how I'll take 2, right? I actually do have 2 routers. I guess I'll need 2. Double router masterclass. It's funny because there are people who aren't saying, I agree, Wargy. It's, I hope history remembers, Bob, that Donald Trump used the Defense Production Act to keep chicken tendy plants open when they could easily close and still have plenty of food for everyone. But he did not use the Defense Production Act when we had 2 months lead time, knowing COVID was coming, to make sure we produce enough PPE and ventilators for people. Remember that in November. Can this deck play Zedra for free? That's a good question. We actually might be able to. Yes, he has used the Defense Production Act to compel Tyson to continue to make chicken. Oh, the pigs. The pigs, right. Oh, you could turn pig. You could turn pig to Godzilla and do it? Yeah, that's true.
This is hardly my worst.
The chicken tendies are a liberal conspiracy, something like that.
I'm happy as a hellion to start some fires. Find your fires of passion within.
A report came out the other day that the UK government reduced PPE production before the crisis and downgraded the disease classification to stabilize the market. Sure. And I hope people over there remember and hold your elected officials accountable too. No one planning on voting for Trump understands the words you just said. That's not true. There are some smart people that vote for Trump because they're incredibly wealthy and the racism doesn't bother them. You ready to floop the pig, chat? You ready to floop the pig, chat? Yeehaw! Trigger. Da-da-da-da. So, that was true once upon a time, Lukos. And I can almost empathize with the people who voted for Donald Trump expecting him to be different because he was an outsider and he was gonna drain the swamp and all that other nonsense. But anybody with eyes in their head and a brain in their skull who's paid attention to what he's actually done since he took office knows that he's not any different, and he is just the same racist status quo that the GOP has been for a long time. He just started saying all the quiet parts loud. I agree. And I'm talking about the president. Once upon a time, I'd cut some people some slack and say, okay, they thought he was something he wasn't. He said he was something else. But that's not true. I'd agree with that. He's blatantly more corrupt. I think I'm playing this land even though I have Fire Prophecy here. I think I'm pretty likely to use all my mana on a future turn. Yeah, the Interplanar Beacons have been impressive. Yeah, I agree, Tnorka. Like, advocating for change is a strong platform. I mean, we're kind of still okay this game, right? Like, we're actually, like, very okay, right? Like, opponent's hand's been okay, but, like, we're actually fine. We get to, like, bounce this.
Might be a bad idea.
Do I put them to 6 here? I think that's my plan. Is do this, put them to 6. Or hit them for 6, put them to 2. Do we have anything that deals 2? That's a good question. Chandra. Chandra attacks for 2. Chandra attacks for 2. Also, putting them to 2 here means I can kill Scorpio with Fire Prophecy and still have them dead next turn. They're dead, right? Did the streaming require you to file for business license? So you can have a, like, be self-incorporated, self-employed or whatever. I just get paid as a 1099 as an individual. I could probably get slightly more write-offs, and the last tax person I talked to wasn't very good, and that had been on my to-do list to look into, but at this point, nothing like that's happening until we're in a post-quarantine world. Post-quarantine world is probably more accurate than post-COVID. Usually save on self-employment taxes if you incorporate. Yeah, for my straightforward understanding of it, that wasn't strictly the case. For the person that I talked to, that wasn't strictly the case with anything that I do. And none of the tax law is super clear, and the person that I talked to last time that was supposed to have an understanding of tax law did not make that out to be the case. Yeah, it's largely about shifting liability / risk, and there's not really a lot of liability with this job. Yeah, correct. Yeah, a lot of it is liability. Protecting assets, so if someone sues your business, they can't, like, take your house. Hear me out, write off the raid spending. I'm 100% gonna write off the raid spending. In fact, next year, if I'm still playing Raid, I'll probably make a point to stream it once or twice still, so I can write it off. I think I'm bottoming this. We had to incorporate when I was in a band in case an amp fell on someone or something. Playing games on the internet isn't really fraught with much danger. Yeah, like that makes sense, exactly. Could you write off paper magic cards? Yeah, when I was playing paper magic, I would write off my paper magic cards. Isn't Magic the Gathering fun? Magic the Gathering is a card game that I enjoy because it allows me to take game actions that are interesting and fun. Thank you, everybody, for enjoying Magic the Gathering with me. Magic is fun. Are you having fun yet? Hey, at least they haven't played a Teferi yet, so I can, like, opt on their turn. At least I can opt on their turn, chat. Would it be better to just opt plus Aether Gust on that turn? No, Dr. Mr. Punny. I want to make tokens with these. So by doing these the turn after, I get to make 2/1/1s. And then if I draw a Lukka, I get to floop the pig next turn. Which sets are staying after rotation? Everything from Eldraine forward stays.
Is destruction your only art?
I will show the city of Dranith who the monsters are.
Puppy! If you file as an LLC under the new tax Trump rules, you can take 20% of your profits for free. My CPA lawyer helped me set that one up as my sole proprietorship. Weird. Tax laws are so stupid. Finding a competent person that can help you understand that is, it's worthwhile. Hey, chat, remember when people were asking me why there were 2 pigs in the deck? Does chat remember when I was being asked why there were 2 pigs in the deck?
I know my responsibility.
It's taken much self-restraint to hold on to wild cards and not craft pre-Eldraine cards. Well, the one true format on Magic the Gathering Arena is historic, so crafting pre-Eldraine cards to play, that's a good use of your stuff. Correct. TurboTax lobbies to keep the tax law complicated. That is accurate. Should have played second Saheeli to have more pigs. It was fine, chat. It was fine. We won. Oh, I don't have any fries in my 75. That's awkward. Do I just cut Improbable Alliance so I'm not likely to draw extra cards? That's probably the case. Do I want Narsets of my own? I don't think so. Is that actually a fact? That the company that owns TurboTax lobbies to keep tax law complicated? That is 100% a fact. Correct. Yes. TurboTax spends money keeping tax laws complicated the same way health insurance companies spend money fighting policies like Medicare for All, because those companies profit from the existing system. Late stage capitalism is a stain, chat. Late stage capitalism is a stain. Little bit of capitalism's fine. Capitalism for my Magic the Gathering cards is probably fine. H&R Block does it too, sure. Yes, correct. Oil companies fighting constantly. Like, oil companies have known about the impacts of their industry on the environment since, like, what? Like the late 80s? If not longer. Jeff said MTG Finance is fine. No, I said MTG Finance is less offensive than profiting off of people being sick. Which is, like, an incredibly low bar. Yeah, definitely, Marty. Well, poop. Alright, so... Are we boarding in Flame Sweep for the next game? Probably, huh? Getting hit with Settle the Wreckage. Settle the Wreckage actually isn't very... And this is one of the reasons why Historic Sweep. Settle the Wreckage isn't a very common card. Like, I don't think the blue-white control deck that was up on my website even plays it. Because one of the best aggro decks in the format plays 4 Gruul Spellbreaker, which blanks Settle the Wreckage. They cut War Boss on the draw? I have no idea. But I think it's worth bringing these in. I don't have a white source. That's probably fine. I've got a temple and an opt. That's fine. just heard a middle name get shouted upstairs, chat. Things are about to get real in little Declan's life. It is, in fact, the hardest knock of life's. Real tough time. Okay. With Lukka drawn, I might dispute their dispute this time. This is also like starting to have diminishing returns.
If it's a challenge you want, then a challenge you'll get.
I think Teferi and Narset are the primary reasons dispute is played so much in the format. I mean, they're part of it. There are cards that you just, like, really don't want to resolve. Don't ken with me. Actual best possibles. On the other side of the table. He did. This was exactly what they needed to be able to kill our... Planeswalker. We just don't have a comeback mechanic. There's a very real chance that as we get further into this format, my stream's going to become more and more historic and less standard. Unless something, like, very critically changes. Like, next week, like, this week I'm doing 2 historic and 3 standard a day. Next week's probably going to be the inverse. And we're going to scale standard back and scale historic up. Yeah, Historic's fine. Fires is fine in Historic, but there's just a wider range of things that are playable in that format, so there's less of it. What would be my choice for a standard shakeup? Ban Teferi. Unban Field of the Dead, also acceptable. If you don't want to ban anything, unban Field of the Dead, also acceptable. I don't know. So, like, part of the problem with unbanning Field of the Dead is that the Yorion Bant decks just play Field of the Dead, and there's a good chance that, like, the Yorion Field of the Dead decks would just be the best thing in a deck that's already good. So, like, there's a chance that Field of the Dead doesn't actually solve the problems. So, like, part of the issue with Standard that's not present in Historic is Historic has better tools for aggressive decks to actually get under what these decks are doing. And it feels like there's no real, like, the Jeksai cycling deck is like, it's fine. But, like, there's still a number of times where it just dies to these control decks as well.
Would rather die than lose.
Nice patch. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I've been running the opens. And the open, like, that's one of the reasons why we're gonna put the standard events very early in the formats. Even if the standard format ends up kind of medium, you know, a week one tournament is more exciting than than anything. Alright, I'm done. I'm gonna catch all of y'all later. Standard has broken me for the day. I'm calling it a day. I'm gonna find someone to host. I'm off it. Day 9 like just went live. I'm gonna host him. He's great.